afternoon. Um, First, I'd like to say I'm glad to see all of you here for our 300th graduation. This is a milestone for our drug court and for our community. You know, the song that was playing as the graduates marched in was something that I picked out because I thought it would be appropriate. Number one, for our 300th class, graduating class. But also, maybe I thought about it because I was just old. And I wanted to hear some old music. But I think the song itself, or should I say, the lyrics to the song is so appropriate because the song starts out, and this is a McFadden Whitehead song. It says, "Ain't no stopping us now. We on the move." And I feel like that's appropriate for our drug court because I feel like we are on the move, and there's no stopping us now. You know, this court started in 1997 under Judge Dwyer. And like I just indicated, you know, this is our 300th class. So that's a testament to the good work that this court has done for all of these years. And, you know, another thing about the song is I thought it was appropriate for our graduates as well. Because later on in the song, the lyrics say, we won't let nothing hold us back. We're going to put ourselves together. We're going to polish up our act. Now we are on the move. And we won't let nothing hold us back. And the song goes on to say, I know that you'll refuse to let anyone hold you back. And our graduates, they have completed this program, so I know that there ain't no stopping them either. And they're not going to let anyone hold them back. Isn't that right?
That's right.
Okay. Now, let's get started with our program here for the afternoon. You know, the short time that I've been here since September, I've come to realize one thing that always resonates in these graduations, and that is our graduates cannot do this without the support of friends, family, and our service providers. You know, I have a good staff, but even they can't do all of the work. They can't do everything that's required for our drug court program. So first, I'd just like to recognize any of the family and friends of the graduates. Would you stand for us, please, and state your name and who you're here to support of. All right.
We're here for Terry Montgomery.
And we are ecstatic that he has successfully completed this program. I think it saved his life.
I'm his mom.
Thank you.
Any other family and friends? Okay. You know, we also, there you go. Okay, go ahead.
We are Jose Alvarez's sons.
Okay.
Yeah. Been a long journey. We're happy that he's able to complete this.
All right.
So, yeah.
Any other family? Any other friends? You know, we are fortunate also to have very good service providers who help us with everything that we need for our clients. And so now, I'm gonna ask our service providers if they would stand and let us know who they're with.
Vote out, revoke the code. Matthew Wallace, revoke the code.
Paul J. Hart Center, baby. Hart Taffy Hart Center. Woo! Blanca Merez, Cap Incorporated.
Myron Evans, Cap Incorporated.
Okay. Any other service providers? You know, also, you know, we, as I indicated, have over 3,000 graduates. And so any of the graduates from prior classes here today.
My name is Crystal Kane, and I'm a graduate of 2006.
All right. Now, as always, though, you know, I have to acknowledge my staff because they get bad at me, and they say, "Well, you acknowledge them." So, the staff, please stand up. I'm gonna let y'all stand up now. This is the drug court staff. And I see some of the lawyers who work in our courtroom. Ms. Stansfield, Mr. Elms. All right, they work with you, know they didn't want to stand up. But they're good lawyers and they help us to keep our program running well as well. Now, before we go any further, we're going to do something for our 300 class that we usually don't do with us. We're going to have a speaker. I'm sure all of you know who he is, because he's been around for a long time. He is I call him the father of our drug court program. He started this program in 1997, and he has nurtured this program for all these years. The 3,000 graduates that came through this program, he's directly responsible for the success of those 3,000 people. And if you can imagine, we have 3,000 graduates, but think about all of the families that it touches, all of the friends, and it turns into thousands and thousands and thousands of people who this program has touched in some way. You know, Judge Dwyer, who is going to speak to us today, you know, he comes to these graduations every month since he's retired, because this program is important to him, and I've said that many times. You know, it was not a job to him. This was his passion. You know, trying to help as many people with their addiction as possible. And every graduation, I would always ask him, "Don't you want to say something? Don't you want to say something?" But you know, he's so modest, right? That he was like, no, I don't need to say anything. I don't need to say anything. But finally, this time, I got him to agree to it. And he agreed only because of the milestone that we reached, which is our 300, I'm getting way ahead, our 300 graduation. So, you know, I don't really need to go into his background. You all know his work. Y'all know what a passionate and good judge that he is. And so, Judge Dwyer, I'm just asking to come forward for a few minutes and give us a few words.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you for the kind introduction. You know, when I didn't know it was Judge Wilson that asked me, Angela had texted me about whether I would be a speaker, and I told her that I would. And I got to thinking afterwards, I go, I wonder why they chose me. I said, and then I thought, well, if they chose Brian Owens, he would give a 6-hour speech. So, gotta knock him out. Renwick would be 3 hours. So they figured, well, Dwyer ain't that smart, so he'd give a speech, but he'd be kind of short about it. And so he might be the person we need to get. But then I got to thinking about it a little bit further. And before we have drug court, we always have a morning staffing. And I would always get in the habit, I'm a storyteller, and I would like to tell the staff different stories. And I said, that's what it is they just miss my storytelling so much, they just wanted to hear it one more time. But I'm really being facetious about that, but I do kind of have a theme about stories that I want to share with you very, very briefly. But one of the expressions that I always tell people when they first come in the courtroom, in the program, we meet in the back, and I said, just a couple of rules. You know, if you mess up and you use drugs, just be a man, be a lady, come to court. We're going to keep working with you. You guys remember that. I also tell them, if you do mess up and use drugs, don't run from the drug court. If you run, you're going to get, when you get caught, you're going to get all your time. Remember that? But then what I tell them is, I said, and this is probably the most important one of them all. I've been a judge for, at that time, 38 years. I said, I learned it the first day I became a judge, and it's still true today. What goes around comes around in life. To see people that are trying to help you, I said, you're going to get caught. And that kind of leads me to my first story. Most of you know I'm a big University of Memphis fan, and I go to football and basketball games. And I was at a basketball game one day, and I was walking down the corridor of FedEx Forum, and I saw a guy in front of me, and he had a big orange jacket on, UT football jacket, big orange, volunteers. And I thought to myself, now what idiot would wear an orange jacket to a Memphis basketball game? We wasn't playing UT. If we'd been playing them, I could understand it, but I said, who would do something like that? And I kind of eased on up a little closer to him, and lo and behold, here was a guy in the drug court, currently participating in the drug court. Not only that, he had him a beer that tall in his hand. So I tapped him on the shoulder, and I said, see you tomorrow for your sanction. The next one is just kind of, I think, just what a small world we live in. My wife and son and I were on a cruise. We were out in the ocean and just enjoying ourselves. And I got on the elevator, and there was a young lady there with her child. And I kind of looked, it looks familiar, but I didn't want her to think I was a dirty old man or anything, so I was trying not to stare, but finally my curiosity got the best of me, and I said, excuse me, ma'am, are you from Memphis? And first words out of her mouth were, Judge Dwyer. She was a graduate of the drug court. So I'm thinking, there I am in the middle of the ocean, and we run into a drug court graduate. I thought that was really something, but really, now on a more serious note, I was in my backyard of my house. My backyard's not very big, and I noticed a paper laying on the ground. I went over to pick it up, and it was a picture, and it's like a school picture of a young man, and at the bottom of it had the guy's name. Well, I happened to remember that a couple blocks over from where I lived, I'd seen that name on the mailbox. And probably the only reason I even noticed that name on the mailbox is this guy was a Memphis fan like me, and he had Memphis stuff all in his yard, so that caught my attention. So anyway, I picked it up, and I got my car, and I drove over there, knocked on the door, and the father came to the door, and I said, "Something belong to you?" And he started laughing. He said, yeah, he said, that's my son. He said a couple of weeks ago, he was over here and he was carrying a bunch of papers to his car, and a big gust of wind came up and blew them every which way. And he said apparently it really got yours and it went two blocks. 2 blocks is a long way. Of course, now with all these tornadoes, sometimes you hear about people finding stuff 100 miles away. But what's so ironic about it was several months later, that same young man ended up in the drug court program.
Wow.
And he had it bad. And I'll say this for him, he took the program, and I'm sure a lot of our counselors remember him, he took the program very serious, and he ended up getting a big job with a firm in Chicago. He came back to Memphis, came down personally to see us, to thank us, and just to let us know how well he was doing. And I really thought that was just an amazing thing. It's going to lead to my next one. And my last story. Last story, team, so don't panic. Even though you probably heard it 400 times. But 16 years ago, my wife was in the delivery room to have her first child. And I was in there with her. And the doctor looked over at me and said, "Are you all right?" I was breathing real heavy. And I said, "Yeah, I'm okay, Doc. I'm just real nervous. I've never done this before. I'm just real nervous." So anyway, we had the baby, and I got to thinking about it. I said, you know, even though my family doesn't have a history of heart problems, I said, you know, I got this young baby, and I want to be around and raise him, be a good daddy. Well, I better go get it checked out. So I went to the doctors, and sure enough, they ran a bunch of tests. And they told me, they said, "You got a problem, you got a blockage." And I thought, oh Lord, man, I think I've just got a kid now, got the serious heart issues. I said, well, what do I need to do, Doc? I got to be around, I got to get help raise my boy. And so anyway, he said, you need to have a stent. I said, okay. I said, when do we do it? He said, we need to do it right now. I said, have at it, let's go. So anyway, did the procedure. They rolled me back up to the room, and we were sitting there, my wife and I, and the doctor come walking in, and he said, "You're a lucky man." He said, "You was getting ready to drop dead." He said, "You had the Widowmaker," which is the bad one. You don't make it. And so fortunately, we caught it. But that's not the end of the story. It wasn't too much longer after that. And I'm not making this up. This doctor's younger brother ended up in our drug court program. And he had it real bad. And he was a #1 pain in the ass. I mean, he and I, we butted heads. But finally, he started to get with it. He started to buy into the program. And he ended up doing really good. Well, his mother, she flew in all the way from New York City to Memphis to be at the graduation just like you are today. And after it was over with, she came up to me and she said, "I just want to thank you," because she said, you saved my son's life. And I said, "I want to thank you because your son Harry saved my life." And then isn't that something? And my point is, these stories, and it's what I've said all along, that I didn't think I was going to break down today. I thought I had it down pretty good. But my point is, the drug court is a God thing. Graduates and families thank me for saving their loved ones. And I quickly point out, it's not just me. It's the judge, Judge Wilson. It's our excellent staff that we have with treatment providers. But most importantly, it's God. Clients tell me that they actually prayed that they would get busted so they could get some help. I've had that happen many times. So when I had to make my decision and decided not to run for re-election, been 38 years a judge, 25 as the drug court judge. You know, I prayed just very hard on, you know, who should I get endorsed to take my place. And I had a lot of good people that came to me and expressed an interest. But God put it in my heart to back Judge Lee Wilson. And from what I hear, he's doing a great job. Now, where is he? he's not as pretty as I am, but he's doing a very good job. And he's carrying on the tradition of being the best drug recovery court in the country. Graduates, I want you to hear me out. Don't win the battle by graduation and then lose the war by going back to using drugs. I remember vividly some years back, a man graduated, his mama was there, his daddy was there, his 8-year-old boy was there. And he got up here and gave a great talk about how his life has changed, that he had his son back, and that night he went home and overdosed and died. It's just terrible. So when you go home, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and just realize, you know, you look great. Man, all you guys, you know, think about it. We met, you know, when you first came in, things were pretty rough, Keenan, wasn't it? But you know, all of you, man, you look wonderful. I didn't hardly recognize Jose. It was so good today. And God has given you a second chance. Go spend your money on your family, not on drugs, not on attorneys, not on bonds, not on fines. I remember a graduate telling me that the wisest, excuse me a second. Excuse me. That the wisest thing that he ever did was go to a meeting the first night of his graduation. And I'd like y'all to keep that in mind, and I strongly urge you to consider that, and I hope that some of you do. In closing, I just want to say good luck in your next chapter of life, and I hope you'll keep in touch with us. A few weeks back, I was in the grocery store. I saw a graduate, T.O., what we called him, and he was working for Coca-Cola, and he told me, he said, Judge, after I got my case dismissed, he said, I got a job with Coca-Cola. I've been with them for 3 years now. I got health insurance, retirement plan. He said, I went to the drug court. The other day I received a text from Tim Groves. He now owns his own trucking company. And he was driving his 18-wheeler through the mountains of Montana. And he had pictures of the snow on the mountains. And he showed me and told me, he said, I even got a passport now, Judge. And he said, I just wanted to thank the drug court for making this possible. So the drug court wants only the best for you. God bless you and stay sober.
Well, one thing I can say, Judge Dwyer might be pretty to me, but I am younger than him. We're going to continue on with our program now. We are about to present the packets to our graduates. We're going to ask them to come up one at a time as their names are called. Well, first I just want to go over with you what you will receive in these packets. We have a keychain from drug court. Also, we're going to have a mugshot picture in there. And this picture is not to embarrass you or anything like that. But that picture is to show you how far you've come. So you look back on the person that you were and see what the person that you've become. So that's a reminder. And also, there is a letter in each one of your packets. And it's a letter from me. One, letting you know how proud I am of each and every one of you. Like I told you a little earlier outside, we know that this is not easy. We know that. And so each one of you should be extremely proud of yourselves for doing this. And so I just want you to keep that in mind, that you have done something that actually everyone in this courtroom, in this auditorium knows that you have really accomplished something in your lives, that you have made a decision, and you made a decision that this is the day that I've been looking forward to. This is the day when I can graduate, that I can go back to my family, that I can go back to my friends, whole again, a real person, not a shell of what I was, but a whole person. And so you should really be thankful. Jose, I know your kids are very proud of you today. That was a real accomplishment. But the letter that I have in here, it goes on to say that if you are experiencing difficulties, don't wait till you get arrested and then and come to us and ask us for help. Come to us before that happens. See, that's one thing about drug court. Once you've been in drug court, you are in the family, okay? So we will always be here for you. We will always be there. Because I know it can be probably a little scary for some graduates, not having that, that foot on your neck, but to actually have to do this by yourself now, and it may be a little scary taking, say, well, I won't have anybody, riding me. I won't have anybody looking over my shoulder. But you've made it this far, so I know you can make it the rest of the way. But I just want you to know, if you have problems, you can call us. And so that is the gist of the letter that I put in your files. Also, you will have a diploma in there. And you probably should frame it, because it is really an accomplishment. So I want you to get that. And also there are certificates in here of completion, along with a relapse prevention plan. So I want you to take these packets, and I want you to remember the great accomplishment that you completed, okay? Now the first one is Jose. Come on up, Jose. And let me just say this. And Jose, you can say whatever you want to say. You have a few minutes to tell us. Come on, Jose. You can say a few words.
Hello, everyone. My name is Blanca Marez. I'm the counselor for the Hispanics who speak very little English or none at all. Mr. Jose wants me to read his letter. My name is Jose Alvarez. I want to thank Judge Wilson. I want to thank Judge Dwyer. But most of all, I want to thank the Lord for touching Judge Dwyer and admitting me into the program. I fully understand that I was a jerk and very stubborn when I got into the program. Judge Dwyer had asked me to do an autobiography of myself. And I said, what the hell does he want to know my business? But today I understand why he wanted to know my business. Because today, due to the program, my kids now have a father. I want to thank my counselor. I didn't really know who he was or she because I bounced back and forth. But this program does work. It has changed me. Thank you.
Okay, next we have Keenan Guy. Come on,
I wasn't gonna do no speech, but every man. I want to thank everybody who helped me through this situation. Starting with Poplar, my whole heart since then. Special thanks to you for not giving up on me. You know what I'm saying? When I messed up, you told me apologize every time you seen me. You made sure I was gonna get right. I appreciate you. And another special thanks to Miss Evans. I know I got on her nerve at work her overtime. My guy Rennie and my family. And legal is to I appreciate you. That's all I gotta say.
All right, next we have Peter Lockett.
I gotta see what mugshot y'all use. Y'all gave me an exit mugshot, that's low, right? Yeah, that 130-pound mugshot was something serious. I'm not gonna take up a whole lot of time naming each person and all that stuff, because there's so many of y'all. And almost everybody's here. I can't think of anybody that's not. But I do want to say to all the people that are still in drug court or new to the program or in recovery or in addiction or whatever, if you need any help, all the people that can make that possible are here. And that's for any areas of your life that you might be slacking in. Like if you need housing, if you need employment, if you need a good support system, they're all here. I'd like to thank everybody. Appreciate it.
All right, next we have Terry Montgomery.
I'm not real good at speaking in public. I get pretty nervous, but you know, there's a lot of people that helped me during this heart center. They taught me a lot about myself, and you know, I kind of understood I needed a structure or whatever, but really didn't know how to go about getting where I was trying to be. And drug court kind of helped me with that a lot, figuring a lot of stuff out. So. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Martin Turner.
afternoon, everybody. For everybody that knows me, I go by Trey. So every time I've heard Martin over the last 18 months, I feel like I was usually in trouble. So to hear it and it be a good thing is a good feeling. I'm extremely grateful for where my life is today. You know, a while back, there was times I'd wake up and I didn't want to face the day, you know, and to be able to wake up today and just smile without any weight on my shoulders is a blessing. I want to thank everyone at the Heart Center. What y'all do over there is pretty amazing. You know, there was countless days I'd go in and not want to say anything, just keep to myself, and y'all always found a way to bring it out of me, you know, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for Bubba, everybody at Rebo's. Y'all do great things over there to help out a lot of people. Everybody involved in drug court, thank you. And Anne Marie, huge thanks to you. I know I gave you a lot of extra headache, a lot, and just thanks for keep pushing me, you know, I needed it. Thanks to Judge Dwyer for accepting me in. It was life-changing, absolutely. And to Judge Wilson for picking up where he left off. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Okay, let's give another round of applause. You know, it never gets old listening to our graduates and how much this program changes their lives. It's easy, you know, for us who work in this every day to kind of forget how important that this work truly is. You know, I've said on, I guess, many occasions now that, you know, I've been here in drug court, that I have the best job in Shelby County. And it's because a judge can stay on the bench for 30 years and wonder if they made a difference in anybody's life. I had a good fortune in a position, and Judge Dwyer can tell you that you get a chance to see it every day almost. So when it's hard and when it's long for us, and the staff can tell you, you know, they get calls all the time a day, all on the weekend. They're never really home. And sometimes they may wonder, is it all worth it? And then days like this, you realize it was worth all of the hard work. But we have a lot more work to do. Now the graduates, you got to do something for drug court. You got to tell everybody what happened. You got to tell them about your experience. Because, you know, the more people that you tell, the more people we can help. And this is about, not just about you, but it's about our whole community. And as you all know, I've been preaching that to you all since the beginning, that you are responsible not just for yourselves, but to the other people in drug court, to the other clients in drug court, to our community, to our families. It's important to all of us. And what you do, while you may not think it affects someone else, there's always somebody looking at you. There's always somebody watching you to see what kind of person you are. They say, well, yeah, he went through drug court, And so they want to see is there a difference between someone who has been through the program and someone who has not been. So you are ambassadors for this program. Always remember that. Because as long as you live, like I told you earlier, you'll always be a part of this family. You can't get out of it now. So, as family members, you have to take care of the rest of the family. All right? That's what you have to do for drug court now. If you really appreciate it, you will show it. And now, in the way that you act, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you talk to people. Because all of that matters. It all matters. Now, some of you, I think a couple of you probably were in jail and couldn't post your bonds, but Judge Dwyer saw fit to let you out, to allow you this opportunity to complete this program. And so, you know, like I always say too, you know, it's difficult sometimes when judges are faced with those decisions. You know, should I take a chance on this person or should I not? But Judge Dwyer saw fit to let you out. And now you have thanked him for that by graduating. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do was graduate. And he feels that gratitude. He knows y'all are appreciative. I do too. I know you appreciate it. Because you're given that second chance, second opportunity. You know, drug court is about saving lives, really. That's what it's about. And so I'm just happy to be here. I'm just happy to be a part of it. I'm happy to celebrate with you today. You know, it's just like my graduation too. I'm just that happy. Because I know you all are going to go on and do great things. We've given you the tools to succeed. And I know you're going to use them. So with that now, I just have a couple of housekeeping things. Let's see. Okay. All of our current drug court clients, don't forget to see your counselors before you leave today. All right? It's not over for you. It's just for these five. They graduated. Y'all still in the program. So don't try to run out here with them. You know, I think we have some refreshments for the graduates, right? And everybody.
Graduates first.
Graduates first. We have refreshments down in the courtroom for everybody. But the graduates go first. Since it is their day. With that, I guess I'll just say, graduates, your cases are dismissed, and that concludes our graduation for today.